I'm going to call the meeting to order for the Cable Advisory Board. We have a very important meeting tonight, and I'm glad you're here. We'll be seeing one more member, I think, shortly, and we'll put him right up here. And we're going to work very hard to have a tight, efficient meeting, but it will be one of the most important we've shared together. So looking forward to that. Let's stand and pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Right up here. We're being extraordinarily efficient and effective tonight. So I was told by some of our members that watch the clock that we had to go, and we got going, but I'm glad you're here to keep us moving. We have a very significant meeting tonight, and we have a very short agenda. We are able to look at the recommendations of Attorney Huey, but before we do that, I call you to review the minutes of July 12th, 2023, the last time we gathered to meet. If there are no questions or comments or required changes, I would ask for a motion to...
Motion to accept the meeting of the last.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Super, thank you very much. Well, as you all have been informed, our attorney, Hewitt, has been in communication with myself and Renee. He has been in intense negotiations with Charter for many months. And I'd like to just go back a little bit for those who are with us tonight online. We have been working for about a year and a half. We've had open meetings, we've had arguments, we've had conversations, we've had intense conversations at times about how we move forward, because clearly there is a lot to consider with this contract. But I think what we did discover in our conversations, and I think you articulated very well, the town needs cable community TV. It needed it during COVID in a significant way, and we were able to respond. Our staff was there night and day, something like that. I think that's a song, but we were there most of the time to really begin to show what town government's all about. Why don't you expand on that? Because I think at the beginning of our meeting tonight, a few minutes on what we've done is appropriate.
Okay.
You were part of the wordsmiths that reminded Charter why this was important to our community.
Yeah, the program, really our obligation here is not to do the programming for your nighttime news or any of that. That does come through this, but what also comes with the charter contract is the funding of the community TV, which is, as Irene just said, that during COVID, when we couldn't meet, that is, the boards and agencies and the government committees couldn't meet in public, we performed our duties and met in public through the community TV filming us. So it played an extraordinary role, and it still plays an extraordinary role. It is the way people get to see high school basketball games and to have the kids learn, the students at the high school learn broadcasting techniques and camera work and all of that. So it plays an extraordinary role. And our role in negotiating the contract was to make sure that we got the continued monies to fund those operations.
Yes, thank you. Yes, with basically two staff, with assistance from students and others, we were able to cover a lot of what's going on in the community and have been. And Renee was able to step up for this committee because of his other professional experience to really make sure that once we agreed upon an attorney to negotiate what we felt was an appropriate deal, to have that communication ongoing. And Renee, I think if you could talk just a little bit about that, we could then move forward.
Sure, I think it was important right from the outset to set some criteria for the negotiations in terms of funding, in terms of, you know, some of the technical aspects of what we were looking at, and, you know, to be able to at least provide a method to sustain Westport Community Television for the next 10 years. I mean, none of us know what technology is going to look like in 10 years, but I think this particular contract will help us sustain Westport Community Television and build something that the town will be proud of. And I think that was the intent of our negotiations. You know, there was a word here in the minutes from July 12th. There was some haggling, right, for monies, and we all saw that in the correspondence in terms of, you know, the attorneys going back and forth with Charter. But I think the end result is we achieved what our goal was, and you know, with your leadership and Bob's direction from the town side, as well as Steve Willett, I think it's important to note that this committee worked hard to achieve what we did. All of us kind of were participants in this and shared the responsibilities. And, you know, I'm proud to have worked with all of you to get to this point.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I want to thank everyone, whether you're new or whether you've been on the committee for a while, the interest everyone took in coming up with an agreement that we felt respected the needs of the town and also respected the reality of changing technology. John or Valerie, you carry the load for us. So I'm willing to give you half a minute if you would like to make a comment on, because I want to keep our meeting moving forward, but on the value of what's happening and what you're seeing. You've been very aware of the changes in technology. You've made it much easier for people to get access using YouTube and other means. You've been able to make public access more available and making some lists available on timing. But is there anything else that you feel is really important for the public to think about as we move forward with a new contract?
Well, just that the viewership on YouTube is, you know, it's good. Every show, every meeting gets upwards of 30, you know, so 50, sometimes 100, the selectmen, conservation, whenever there's a topic, you know, so the viewing's been good. The parade has gotten 1,500. I got 1.5K on the parade.
And that's going
So-
right to YouTube and going to
Yep.
Westport Community TV. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great reminder, Valerie. Thank you, John. Is there anything you want to add to this as we move into our decision making?
Yeah, no, I agree with what everyone has said before, and it just shows the importance that, you know, it seems like you don't have to leave your house anymore, and you can find out what's going on in Westport, and you can see it. And
I'm not sure that's good.
it's not, but any time of day and night you can see that. So I'm glad we can bring that to them.
Yeah, and your students are committed.
Yeah, I've hired a couple of students. Every year we hire a few, so we're giving back to the kids in the community as well, and some of them stick around after they graduate and continue to do it or go off on their
And you're keeping equipment
own.
up to date with the funding that we're able to find.
Sure,
from
yep.
this
Oh, yeah,
contract.
yeah, yep.
So that you're feeling like the town has equipment that allows us to be at least in the 21st century?
Absolutely, and with this new contract and the capital that we're going to get from it, we can switch out every couple of years when needed. I don't think it'll be an
You
issue.
know, keep up to date.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
10
from
years.
your perspective, both of your perspectives who are right on the spot every day, this is a really positive thing to move forward on.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay,
You know, we're
great.
using the money in the past money to buy the new server and new equipment, and we're gonna be able to stream, we're gonna work on that.
Because we do know that those people who are subscribers do feel at times a pull of the cost of service. But for the town, it really is a basis of communication, a basis of providing this kind of technology, and whatever the future holds, we'll be in touch with that and be able to talk about that. Other members want to add anything briefly? We're going to look at the comments briefly from the attorney. You've all had a chance to read them, so I'm mostly looking for your approval. But is there any brief comments from anyone? Thank you. I appreciate that too.
No, I was just gonna say, they can't get this product anywhere else. You know?
Fantastic. That's probably the stamp we need on this. This is unique to our town, and that's a special thing. I was out, and I'll just add this as an extra, I was out and stopped at the County Bull Farm today and looking for someone who wasn't there. And someone pulled up and got out. I thought maybe that was someone with information for me. Nope, she was from Cambridge. This is a fantastic town, she said. Wow, nobody knows about this place. I said, well, a few of us do. It was another reminder that we live in a very special community, and having community TV to share what's going on, both government, public concerns, all of the educational issues, and be able to have students here with us tonight who can record what we're saying and remember forever, correct? Thank you.
Chair,
Okay.
I just would like to say something. That's probably the most significant part of what this contract will do, is to support the young minds at the high school and, you know, provide them potentially with a career path that they might explore. And I think the other thing I wanted to say is I don't think this committee is finished in our work. You know, we want to continue to provide support to Westport Community Television and to follow through, you know, after the fact with the contract to make sure everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
Thank you. I think that's a really good reminder. Renee, you've been very up close with this. Is there anything in the comments from the attorney versus his conversation? They have agreed to our expectations about financial compensation. They have not agreed to everything. Is there anything that you think we should discuss before I ask for a vote of support?
You know, the only thing that jumped out at me really was the HD channels in terms of them, the expectation that we pay for those. I actually wonder if I mean, right now we're looking at other methods to deliver our programming. I don't believe in 10 years cable TV will look the way it does. I think a lot of people can access the meetings either on YouTube, as you know, as was stated, and other social media platforms. So I don't think that's a huge sticking point. I can't imagine, you know, a lot of people, you know, really sitting at home being riveted by cable TV now. I mean, they watch it here, right? They want to be able to watch it at their convenience. So, yeah, let's probably let that one go. But I think what's significant for us is the funding, and I think that's what we achieved.
And that allows us to stay alive and well, because without the funding, there would not be this conversation about what we could do to improve it, or how we can stay abreast of what changes would be. We now are going to have an agreement, and we're going to vote on that soon with Charter, that we will then submit to the select board, and it will be their decision to agree or not agree. But we have a select board representative who wasn't able to be with us, but is informed, and I'm looking that we can move this forward so that we can say to the town, what you need from local community TV, you can share with us, but you will have staff, you will have equipment, you will have whatever it exists, and whatever we can maintain. So
Yeah.
I think those issues can be brought up again.
Find a way to get it out there.
I mean, I'll make a motion to refer this to the select board for approval.
We do. I just wanted to make sure that there was room for everybody who had a comment or had a concern. You all have the recommendations of our attorney. I think he was very thoughtful, I think very forceful, because he certainly has stayed with this. We have provided the community 2 opportunities plus our meetings to come in, and their concerns tend to reflect more issues with the company than with the service that's provided through community. They're concerned about their costs, they're concerned about equipment or access. That we can't do anything about, but we certainly can hear your concerns, and I think we set up this process to make that possible. We had people show up, and I think we'll continue. Is there
I will second that motion.
Okay, you have Renee has made the motion, Don has seconded. All in favor to accept the recommendations as submitted by Attorney Hewitt?
Aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. Well, you know, we can stand up and cheer, or we can go out for ice cream, or whatever seems great. But I would like to suggest that now that you've made this motion, we bring this to the select board September 11th. I have mentioned that to the town administrator, and he is looking to put us on the agenda. I don't think all of us need to speak. I think they have the information, but if you want to come and be in the audience, you know, that's fine. But hopefully this will continue to move forward. I do not think we have necessarily anything to do beyond this in September, so I will ask you to come back together in October, and we'll have a long, full, active agenda that John Resendes can put together for us.
Once school's back in session,
Yeah.
right?
Next week.
Thank you.
So the select board would accept this, and then the lawyer goes back and says it's all set, and then the contract's written up?
It is, Charter has agreed to sign it,
Yeah.
so it's really our board that
Yeah, so
has
the
to
select
agree to
board,
sign
and
it.
then-
I think
Yeah,
we're
I would
halfway.
imagine the town administrator probably provides the signature on
Yeah.
the document per the directive.
But it will
the select
come
board.
before the meeting. I think I've given this to Jim Hardent last week when you all received it, and I'm sure by now he might have had a chance to look at it, but certainly, you know, in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're hopeful that there is no disagreement, I think, because we talked tonight about how much work and effort we put into this, the rationale that we used behind it. If they have any specific questions, the information, the letter they have, they'll bring it to us before, but let's
So,
just hope.
yeah. The last time there was the whole, and then the whole contract, and then they sign it again with the.
Yeah, no, that'll be all done. And the contract, you know, will be the same as before. I think it was like 38 pages. That's why I didn't print it all out tonight. But you all can have a copy of that when it's
Yeah.
complete. So, is there any other business to come before our meeting tonight?
I'd just like to say thank you for all the work you've done on this. You know, we've done ours, but you guys have really gone above and beyond, so thank you very much.
Very, very able committee. And we've also gotten involved with the Municipal Light Committee. Renee has represented us. They're still,
Yeah, we haven't met yet this summer, but I believe that's still an ongoing process, and I believe, you know, as you put so appropriately, there are 2 tracks, there are 2 trains going, and I think there's gonna be a merger of those down the road, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, John and I were talking about utilizing the fiber network that was built in the town, and I think that will come, so.
well, in the fall, we'll talk about programming. We'll talk about what's actually happening between the 2 of you. And there's been some suggestions from Don that maybe we don't need a monthly meeting. We'll talk about how often we really do need to come together, and maybe we'll have ice cream. So, with that, I ask a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
second it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your comments.